Mitch Miller, November 2nd. It's the morning, about to start another day of shooting without the most ideal equipment. Imagine what I could do with a little better setup, but get some wind issues and stuff like that. But anyway, yesterday afternoon I was going to shoot more, but I worked at the soup kitchen. Peeled 12 kilos of beets for salad. Got a little bit of red hand. At 9, normal time of when the shelter I've been staying at every day that I've got here opened. Got there and there was a sign that it was closed. Didn't have a place to sleep last night. Just so happens that I uploaded the video where I named my father-in-law and pretty much say he's responsible for manipulating every corporate leader in the world, pretty much. And then the shelter's closed. Now, do I think my father-in-law manipulated a shelter where I've witnessed at least 30 people rely on for a place to stay warm in the middle of winter? No, because that's delusional thinking, right? So I don't believe that. I don't believe in delusional thinking. I don't believe in hearing thoughts or hearing voices, because those are all delusional thinking. According to the American Psychologist Handbook, that's what it is. So, is it a bad idea to have all these mental health places signed into contracts with this major multinational corporation? I don't know if they have those contracts or not, but it's pretty easy to change one passage in a handbook, or one symptom in a handbook, but that's fine. Anyhow, today I found a place to sleep. I want to talk about America. You may not think I have this proof, but I'll talk about a generation that came out of a war, World War II, because of the many years of war. They were well versed in what it took to recycle metal, recycle things. They saved every little thing. They were diligent about recycling. They grew gardens for food. They canned vegetables. That's a generation. Their parents went through their grandparents went through a Great Depression, so they were well aware of burying currency and money and keeping it under the mattress and not investing and not putting it all in banks. You have this, the Great Generation, and they've produced the baby boomers, and the baby boomers we remember them as the hippies and the GIs from the United States, and then there were kind of these coattail baby boomers, it blows my mind that you went from a generation like my grandparents that did those things, recycled, because it was out of, those people felt it was important. Why waste? To what we have in the United States now. And if you don't think that's because of corporate manipulation, then I don't know what to tell you. It's unfortunate. And if you want to see the proof of that, I bought a home in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 2009, and in the basement was left to me cans and cans and cans of screws, latches, hinges, all types of things. I have the proof right there. You can go and see it. It's interesting. I've observed in the United States over the past 10 years, these coattail baby boomers, their kids are graduating and they're not finding work, and nobody wants to blame it on on American corporations expanding elsewhere and taking away your manufacturing base. And so what do? You just keep expanding the law of how long you can stay on your health care insurance, so that kids can graduate from college and stay on the insurance till they're 27. We're in Denmark, where people are considered an adult when they're 16, and they have social programs that ensure that they can go out and live on their own, vis-a-vis the government kind of helping with that. Tell me which situation is worse. Your kids can leave home at 18, like the baby boomer generation could, because there were actual jobs left over because people bought things in the 50s and 60s that were manufactured in the United States. Or kids living at home until they're 27 years old, and an independent American leaving the country trying to tell people and just say it straight to you, getting totally isolated. So, it brings me around to this point. These videos are here. They're gonna get out. I don't know, what you're thinking. If these aren't, being released to the public, it's total proof that in modern civilization I'm being isolated by the internet, that you are telling your children that is a form of freedom of speech. What do you think's going to happen? What is your logic? You have a man that has come several times to seek asylum in Europe, and tried to sit down face to face with people and explain these things. He's in a city, a small town in Europe that he's never been to before in his life, pointing out centuries old artifacts, and telling stories, and as if he's showing you that an ancient order that people believe is an ancient order has been trying to warn us about this situation for centuries. What do you envisage as the solution here? Really, I don't know what to tell you. I'll tell you this. Last night I went back to the bar, and a guy I could see drifting around playing acoustic guitar around here. Don't know if he lives on the streets or what his situation was. He did it. He did what I requested from Europe. He bought me a beer, and he put a $100 bill in my hand, 100 kroner bill. It took me a second to think about it. I didn't want to take it at first because I knew his situation. But then after I thought about it, I thought, that's exactly what I asked for, wasn't it? So I guess it's all happening. I don't know. I'll be at the bar again tonight and a couple other times this week. If you're in Europe and you know someone in Denmark that you can wire some money to, and they want to drive their car up to Aalborg and put some money in an envelope so that I could at least rent an apartment here, or have the option of going somewhere else if this doesn't seem like the place to be, then I'll be there, and slip me an envelope. But I'm going to keep shooting and keep saying this stuff, and I don't know what else to do. You can try to discourage me by shutting down homeless shelters, but I'll hitchhike somewhere else, or I'll figure something out. So, yeah. Mitch Miller, signing out.